Good morning, guys. Welcome to Tyler's Talking Sports. So it's either Monday morning or it's Thursday morning because we drop 2 episodes weekly at 6 a.m. Monday morning and Thursday morning. Monday morning's episode will be called Off the Record, where we talk about a little bit of everything. We just sit back, two guys talking about sports. My name is Tyler Hess. On the other side of the mic, you're going to hear from my brother from another mother, Tyler Castle. We talk sports. We're going to become your favorite sports podcast. You're going to want to listen to us. But Mondays, we have Off the Record. Thursday morning is where you find out what's getting ready to happen this upcoming Saturday in college football. We go over the biggest matchups, who's going to win the Heisman, who we think is going to win. We also talk about the local games here in Southwest Virginia and East Tennessee. So we're so glad to have you guys, but do us one favor. It's one itty-bitty favor. If you don't care, whatever it is you're listening on, because, guys, we on everything. We on all major podcasting platforms, and we're on YouTube. And we're on Facebook, so be sure you hit that follow button. Be sure you follow us, subscribe to us, do whatever you can. Every little bit helps, guys, and we appreciate everything. We're doing this for you guys, and we hope you fall in love with us. Love us or hate us, we feel like you're going to come back. Thank you, guys. Enjoy this episode.
This episode is brought to you by Next Level Fitness Club in Lebanon, Virginia. 1806 East Main Street, Lebanon, Virginia, 24266. They are a 24/7 gym facility, 24/7 tanning. They also offer certified personal training and certified functional fitness classes to fit all needs. If you're in the market for a gym membership, this is a great place to hit up. Hit up Ethan, Tyler, or Jordan at any of their numbers, and check out their website at www.nextlevelfitnessclub276.com.
This episode is brought to you by Little's Lawn Care. Little's Lawn Care is the all-you-need lawn care people. You need your yard mowed. You need your leaves blowed out of your yard. You need your gutters cleaned out. Contact Little's Lawn Care at 276-698-5104. Again, that number is 276-698-5104. You can text them and you can call him. His name is Brandon Little. He's an incredible person, and be sure you let him know that Tyler sent you.
And we're live, Season 2, Episode 23, Off the Record. This is Tyler's Talking Sports. Tyler's Talking Sports. Happy Monday morning to y'all, bright and early, 6 a.m. Hopefully y'all had an amazing weekend. If it's your first time tuning in, on the other side of the mic, we have my brother from another mother, Tyler Hess, and myself, Tyler Castle. And what we do here is we talk college sports. Primarily, we're talking college football this season. We might get into some other stuff later on. We'll definitely let y'all know. But yeah, crazy weekend this past weekend in college football. Week 12 is in the books, which is crazy to believe. This season is flying by. But yeah, Hess, did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, man. But it wasn't bad at all. It was a good weekend. Braxton had a basketball game Saturday. Scored 4 points. He had one at the very end of the game.
More than Bronny.
At the very end of the game, he did a no-look hook under the goal. Technically, it was out of bounds, but it set on top of the basketball goal.
Call him Dirk.
And it rolled in to the goal. He had 4 steals, 1 rebound, and like 2 or 3 assists. They won 36-6, the team they played. So
nice. Sounds like he had a single-double game.
Yeah. But did that, and then some good football games on Saturday, and
man, there was.
Sunday was a good day with the family. What about you, man? I know you went on a little trip.
Yeah, went down to Pigeon Forge. Fun stuff.
Yeah.
Went to a water park.
Yeah, nice.
Little man had fun.
It was indoor.
It's inside, yes.
Okay,
very nice. Governor's Crossing. If anybody's listening, want to take your family down to Pigeon Forge, no free shout-outs, but pretty nice. I call it the Dollar General of water parks in Sevierville. Instead of paying for the wilderness, you got the Dollar General version, which has just enough for a 2-year-old. There you go. Just like a DG, baby, on every corner.
Those are on every corner?
Nah, it's really nice. No. Well, there is a lot more condos, hotels, whatever you want to call them nowadays, that have water parks.
Yeah.
It's kind of a going thing.
Keeps you there.
But it's really nice. We went to the island, checked out that, rode the carousel.
Well, nice.
Got Hudson some toys.
Nice.
Yeah, he racked up. Ate the old meal. Very good.
Does it bother you that I seen that? It looked like it was pretty good.
It is good.
But I seen a thing on it. Does it bother you though that it's called the island and it's technically not an island?
Not really, because I get it with the water fountain.
But there's
like I did watch. We sat down and watched the water show.
And that's really cool.
It was cool.
But an island is a body of land surrounded by water on 3 sides.
On 3 sides, that's correct.
No, that's a peninsula.
Peninsula.
Island is all four sides.
I was like, wait a second.
Yeah. So
wait a second. You're talking about a peninsula.
But it's not an island.
It's not an island. Technically not. It is surrounded by land.
On all.
I would call that a landland.
Landland.
Landland is what I would call that. Great place. No free shout outs. And then we hit up the Tangers. Tanger. I've heard it called both ways.
Tanger.
Is it Tanger or Tangers?
Tanger. You want me to make a phone call?
Yeah. Why don't you buzz somebody in? I'm curious.
Take somebody in here.
Guys, I promise we talk sports on this. I promise. Y'all just hang in there. This is serious.
Make a phone call. Yeah, we got to know this.
Just say, what's the outlet called in Pigeon Forge?
Hello.
Welcome to Tyler's Talking Sports. This is Tyler Hess. You're on real fast here. The outlets in Pigeon Forge, what are they called?
Tanger outlets.
Tanger. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
What a nice lady.
Yeah, nice lady.
Yeah, appreciate her dropping in there. Yeah. Tanger. So I stopped by the Tanger outlets. Yes, went to the Crocs store, went to the Nike store.
Yep.
Then headed on home.
I thought you were staying through Saturday.
Thought about it.
Thought you was.
I really did a lot.
My wife woke up Saturday, didn't say nothing. We get home from Braxton's football game, and then she's like, "What time are Tyler and Danielle going to be here?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "They're coming up for the game." I'm like, "No, they're staying the night in Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg." She's like, "Oh." Like, yeah, it's Daniel's birthday. She goes, "Oh, well, that's cool." She was preparing, she was cleaning, thinking about what she's going to fix, all this.
Yeah.
And then I text you, and you're like, "I'm home."
Just had got home.
I was like, well, this is just a bunch of baloney.
I was tired.
I understand. Trips, 2-year-olds, wives.
Yeah, he was wide open, man.
Wives. New place to sleep.
It was fun. Yeah, it was a good time. Seriously, it's a good time.
It's good, man.
But speaking of trips, since we're just talking about trips, man.
Yes.
Heading to Boone.
It's
coming Saturday.
Heading to Boone, it is going to be an absolute blast.
Yes, this Saturday, finally, guys, y'all have heard us talk about this for weeks now. If you've listened to the previous episodes, make sure to tune in this Thursday morning to hear our agenda. We're going to go back through our agenda. We're working on some parking areas.
God.
Uh-oh. What?
Thursday, heavy snow, 35. Friday, heavy snow, high 33. Saturday, light snow, high of 35. Wind chill of 20.
Gonna be great, guys. We gonna be freezing for y'all. We gonna be getting this content just shaking probably inside, froze like some icicles, man. It's gonna be crazy.
Weather Channel saying up in the 40s. Weather Channel saying up.
Yeah, I saw 45 on mine. That's what it's showing.
Weather Channel showing up in the 40s with rain all 3 days.
Sure.
AM. It's gonna rain in the morning. Saturday is what the Weather Channel saying. Now the rest of everybody else, AccuView and everybody else, is saying snow up until Saturday morning.
Gosh, man. We'll see. The weekend's still a little ways off. We'll see if anything changes.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll make it down there, guys. We do have a Chevy we're going to be taking. Hopefully it don't break down.
We're making it.
It'll make it, baby. It's got 4-wheel drive. Good tires.
That's right.
Yeah, and Kyle Busch behind the wheel. Yeah, so make sure y'all tune in, though. Thursday morning we'll go through our agenda. We had a lot of people reach out to us about parking, so shout out to those guys. Really appreciate them letting us know where to park. So we're definitely going to have a good parking spot now. Even got invited to another tailgate, believe it or not. So we got a lot of stuff to try to get in. Make sure, guys, if you do listen to this podcast, if you are down there, I don't know if any of their App State listeners are listening right now, but make sure, give us a follow. We're going to try to get a group photo, too, with everyone. So
absolutely.
Going to make a day of it. It's going to be fun, guys. Make sure y'all tune in. Probably going to do some lives as long as we got good service.
It's gonna be fun,
good stuff, man.
I'm excited.
It's gonna be fun.
I'm really excited.
I'm stoked.
We got nice hoodies coming. Did you get the same one I got?
My hoodie should be here, tomorrow, probably.
Yep. I got the blackout hoodie, too, so that's going to be cool.
Yeah, it is a blackout game.
Yep.
JMU is very good.
Yes.
So I'm kind of nervous about this, but I think App State can do it.
Hey, it's going to be rainy, snowy, and cold. Boone weather. That's what all these people have been saying. They're finally getting Boone weather. Maybe they're finally going to get some Appalachian State football down there.
I do want to let them know we do feel that Boone weather up here.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, we're just right up over the hill there.
Yeah, just an hour, about an hour and a half.
Yeah,
yeah. Can't cut through Damascus though, so we're gonna have to cut down through Which way are we going?
We can't go through Damascus.
We can cut through Damascus now?
Yeah, it's open. All that's open.
No.
Yeah, Billy even told us it was open.
Damascus.
Yeah, all that's open. You can go all the way through. Go through Damascus, go down Mountain City, and come out that way. We can go the shortest way.
Really?
Yeah. It's all open.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That was fast.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Local game recap.
Yes, sir.
Let's get into it. Let's get into college football. These guys are done listening.
Yeah, they're
Let's
done.
talk about our weekend.
Yeah.
UVA Wise finishes
up
up their season against Barton. Wise holds on to win. That's a big win.
Big win. Big win for Wise.
Big win. 24-21 finishes the 2024 season with a 4-6 record.
About right.
Kind of expected. I was hoping like a 5-5.
Yeah, would have been better.
But 4-6. Cooper Wick had 223 yards passing, so much better this week than he did previous week against Emory. Emory, of course, is a different animal this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Barton did almost come all the way back in this one and scored 14 unanswered in the fourth, but just ran out of gas and time and didn't have time to take the lead. So big win for Wise. Barton's a tough squad. So
Barton is, but good for Wise. Way to finish that season strong, get that win. Happy for those guys, those coaches. Now they got something they can build toward. I mean, if you really look at it, what have they been, like 2-1 in their last 3 games?
Yeah, I mean, only loss coming to Emory in the last 3 weeks.
So, I mean, they got a lot to build on. So, next year could be a completely different season for them. I think it will be. I think they've got a taste of what they need to do. Now it's time to let's build on it. But, hey, speaking of Emory, they played Newberry.
Yeah, Emory.
Yeah. Big win.
Caps off stellar season.
Yeah, 27-7.
27-7. Kind of, we expected this. We didn't. We projected Emory to dominate Newberry. Finished up season now 9-2 and 6-2 in conference play. Cole Lambert finished up the game with 289 passing yards in this one.
Yeah.
Will they be playoff bound?
Yeah, absolutely. They're playoff team.
Do you know when playoffs start?
I can look that up real fast.
Okay, yeah. I'm sure listeners would like to know.
You can go over the next one if you want to.
Yeah, sure. Let me get to that real quick. Bluefield University versus Point University. Holy cow, Bluefield wins.
They did, baby. How about my boy Dewey?
18-17. Dude, Point was beating the brakes off everybody.
How about my boy Dewey?
Finished season 5-6.
Yes.
Shout out to that, man. That's impressive.
I mean, we talked about it.
4-2 in conference play.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. Great way to end the season for Dewey Lusk.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Future's bright.
Top seeds in each super region. The D2 bracket is out. So right here we will announce the playoff bracket here. Let me see who is in. They look like they set up like a conference, like a basketball. That's how their bracket looks like it's set up. It's loading the bracket right now. Possibly. Hopefully. Love technology. The faster we get, the slower it gets.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Your 4 number 1 seeds are CS Pueblo, Valdosta State, Kutztown, and Ferris State. But we're all here for that one school.
Emory Henry, baby. Where they at?
Carson Newman, there they are. Virginia Union, Lenore Ryan. Unfortunately, it looks like Emory and Henry did not make the playoffs.
What?
Nope. Lenore Ryan, Virginia Union, West Alabama, Wingate.
Let me check.
Carson
Let me
Newman.
check. Let me check with an analyst here real quick.
Yeah, it looks like they did not make it, man. No playoffs for Emory. Let me check on down here. First round starts Saturday, November 23rd. Miles at Carson Newman, West Alabama at Lenore Ryan, Wingate at Virginia Union. Second round is Saturday, November 30th. First round, this playoffs lasts to December 21st. The national championship is December 21st. But yeah, Emory is not in this, man. There's a bunch of 7-3 teams.
I'm double checking. I reached out to the special man, Seth Stanley.
Assumption made it at 6-3. Are they allowed to make it? I bet they ain't allowed to make it.
Why?
Because they're in that transition period.
Oh.
They may not be allowed to make it.
How long does that last? Is it the first year, then after that you can...
It's either the first year or the first 2 years. You get like a probation thing. Like you play the first year, you got to hit a certain thing, and then the next. So that might be why. Because like I said, there's some 7-2 teams, 7-3.
I think that's what we saw ETSU hit, right? When they switched?
Yes.
Yeah.
JMU had that going on last year.
JMU had it, yep.
Yeah, there's a 6 bunch Sussex Falls, New Mexico.
That's probably. I say you're right because they did just switch over.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully he can confirm. He'll let me know for sure.
Yeah. Just keep that on the thing. You can just chime in.
Yeah. I'll keep it on the docket. I'll just chime in when I get a text back. ETSU versus Furman.
I don't even want to talk about this, man.
ETSU unable to hold on and loses 24-21 their last home game of the season. Now 6-5 on the season and 4-3 in conference play. Geno English, he did get the start, had 142 yards passing. Furman kicked field goal to win the game, of course, 24-21. Look ahead this coming Saturday. ETSU does face VMI at
they gotta
VMI.
Win.
Gotta win. Must win game.
Yeah. I just don't think I don't want to sit here and go ahead and say it, but I don't think they got playoff hopes now. I think they had to win these next 2 for sure.
Yeah.
Hate that for them, but it's been them this year.
Strong season.
It has.
Every game's been close.
But it seems like they have a good win, they get ranked, and then they lose. They have a good win, they get ranked, they get beat. And that's inconsistencies, but hey, you live and learn. Trey Lamb, new head coach. He's done great down there. That team's done, I think they've exceeded expectations this year. So
yeah, EE, baby.
Yeah, so good for ETSU. And the basketball program looks really good this year, too.
That they do.
Yeah.
Could be a Cinderella.
Could be. We might talk about that. We don't know. We got some stuff we got to talk about in the confines of our studio to see what we want to do later on.
Yeah, in the studio.
If you don't know, guys, that's the Next Level Fitness Studio.
Ooh, Next Level Fitness Studio. I like it.
Hey, had a thing.
Eggs and bacon.
Had a big thing come out yesterday at 2:00. Some people may care. Some people are just waiting for Tuesday, but you did have the AP poll come out. And kind of, based off last week, it did kind of give some indication on where some teams are going to be.
Yep.
I don't want to focus too much on it, but is there anything on it that stood out to you?
Yeah, just a couple things. I'm still not wild about Penn State, Indiana being top 4 or 5, but
we'll find out about Indiana.
We'll find out about Indiana this coming weekend. They're 5th. They're undefeated, so that's why they're there.
I do want to say this: Penn State, Ohio State was very close.
Correct.
We're not sold on Penn State.
Or 7-point game.
Yeah, something like that.
7-point game. 2013 maybe.
Oregon about got beat this weekend.
Yep.
Indiana, if they beat Ohio State,
then yeah.
I don't think Oregon, Ohio State, and Penn State and Indiana, I'll go ahead and say I think all 4 of those are overrated. And you might as well add Notre Dame to that as well. But I did we're going to talk about the playoffs here in a second. But we had a viewer chime in. I don't want to mention his name. But he is kind of upset that Georgia jumped Ole Miss.
I was going to get to that.
He was? Go ahead.
I understand. Ole Miss beat Georgia by 18. I mean, I get it. I think here's my thing with that, though. Those 4 teams, number 7, I'll tell the viewers because they don't have this in front of them. Number 7 right now is Alabama in AP poll. 8, Georgia. 9, Ole Miss. 10, Tennessee. I think those 4 any week could go either way. I think they're all pretty well even.
I can agree with that, but the reason I think Alabama is ahead of those 3, one,
strength of schedule,
but Alabama has a good win against Georgia. Georgia lost to Alabama, so you can't put them ahead of them now because
also now they beat Wisconsin soundly.
Yes,
Wisconsin gave Oregon a run.
Wisconsin now has turned into a good win.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
To me, they might be the best team in the Big Ten, but they just started out so bad this year that it ain't going to matter. Yeah. But before we go, well, you know what? We'll talk about it later. Georgia had Ole Miss. I agree with that. Coin flip that thing. Tennessee sitting at 10.
Sure. Right now.
Honestly, I think Bama's a solid 7 because they had 500. I mean, I know they played Mercer. They had 500 yards.
That's their 3rd consecutive game with 500 yards.
Yeah, I mean, they're clicking, man. They are absolutely clicking. But honestly, 8, 9, 10, I think they're more even than what – because Bama's playing right now. Bama's doing things. 8, 9, 10.
We saw some good football, though, this past weekend.
We did. But 8, 9, 10, like I believe they're more of a – any given way, it could go either way.
Yeah.
Because I think those teams are very even. I think Alabama and Kalen DeBoer have found their step, and they're clicking.
Kalen. Yeah. It's Kalen, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Kevin. Kalen.
K
DeBoer. Man.
K DeBoer.
God, that's going to bug me. Is it Kevin or Kalen?
Oh, gosh. I think it's
Kevin. It's Kevin. It's Kevin. Kevin! Home Alone. No free shout-outs.
Yeah, Kevin DeBoer.
Kevin.
Kalen DeBoer.
Oh, what's Kalen?
Kalen.
Kalen DeBoer.
Kalen Douglas DeBoer, born October 24th, 1974.
Dang, he's kind of young.
But looking on down through it, BYU, they ended up winning.
BYU lost.
BYU lost.
They lost to Kansas.
That keeps...
BYU's overrated.
And
that kind of tells me SMU might be overrated.
No, I think SMU is what they are. I mean, Kansas, they beat Iowa State. Kansas is clicking. Jaden Daniels is playing quarterback for them, not Jalen Daniels.
I know.
That's huge because now Army would have the 12th spot. Nope.
Just to let y'all know, BYU dropped to 14th in the AP poll, so we're expecting them to be out of the playoffs.
Well, nope, they won't be because you got to look at the AP poll to figure out that last spot. And I did some research on the poll where the playoff rankings work.
Colorado?
Notre Dame cannot be higher than 6th, no matter if they're undefeated, no matter what's going on. They can never be higher than 6th seed in the tournament. So they can never be on the top
because
4.
They're not in a conference.
Because they're not in a conference. All right. BYU is the highest ranked non-Power 5 conference team that is not ranked in the top 10. So actually Boise, okay, will get that spot. But BYU's in the Big 12. BYU's in the Big 12. So now Colorado's in that driver's seat.
Yeah.
I think they're tied. But BYU will get the advantage in the poll because they're the higher ranked team in the
Gotcha.
AP. So right now Boise State you're still sitting there at 12 as your last team in. But Army's sneaking up in there. Army keeps winning and Boise State loses. Army gets that spot.
Wow. Boise ain't looked like Boise past few weeks. I mean, they got going this past weekend. Who was they playing? San Jose State. I mean, they took off, but they were tied there for a while. I mean, it ended up being 42-21.
Nick Saban
it took Genty a minute.
Nick Saban said Boise State can't stop the pass, and San Jose State, all they can do is pass. And that was going to be a tough game. But, I mean, you're looking at it. I mean, we'll roll right into the playoff poll, what we kind of think the playoff rankings are going to look like. Tulane sitting there. Tulane keeps winning. They got to play Army for the American Conference. So that game could be absolutely huge for that final spot. Boise State. But here's the thing. If Boise State jumps into the top 10, if they jump into the top 10, then they get an automatic spot. And then you look at the highest ranked outside the top 10. Top 12. So if they get up above into the top 10, then you look at Army, Tulane, and UNLV.
UNLV still in the ballpark?
Well, UNLV's ranked 23rd. So if something happens and they jump Tulane or Army.
They jumped it back in rankings. Okay.
Yeah. So if they get up higher than Army or Tulane and Boise State cracks that top 10, then they get that spot, and then Boise State gets an actual seed. So then the at-large spot will go to Army or Tulane or UNLV.
Jeez.
But
interesting these last few weeks.
They're looking at what they're kind of projecting with the poll.
Yeah, this is the projections.
Your 4 seeds right now would be Oregon, Colorado, because now they are in the driver's seat number 1 in the Big 12, Texas, and Miami. For you Miami fans, you guys lose a game, you're done. You're out. Yep. It's over, and that happens. SMU takes that spot, and they jump in. It's going to be a mess. That's going to be an interesting mess if Miami gets beat. Texas, they could lose. But then
who's Texas have this coming?
Finish out. Let me look. You keep going over the rest of them there. I'll look this up.
Yeah, so that's your first 4. So that means they would get a bye week before they play. So then let's see here. 6-11 would be Penn State now.
One more thing about that. Boise State, if they end up being ranked higher than a conference champion, they would take the 4th spot.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yes.
And so you're saying if they jump Oregon, Colorado,
yes,
any of the Texas, Miami. Gotcha. Yes. Okay. Man,
it's
kind of confusing how they have this set up. I mean, it really is. It's like all these random rules just thrown together.
Kirby Smart's pretty upset about the whole
not just him. I think it's a lot of your SEC coaches. Which rightfully so, right? I mean, he said it best the other night. But anyway, number 5 projection right now. Number 5 would be Ohio State playing Boise at Ohio State. Then you'd have number 6 and 11. Number 6 right now, 6th seed is Penn State. So Tennessee would travel to Penn State. 7, 10, interesting here, Notre Dame and Georgia. So Georgia would travel to Notre Dame. Number 8, 9 would be Bama versus Indiana. Indiana traveling to Alabama. And the winner of, let's just go through these two so y'all know why Hess is looking that up. So whoever wins the Ohio State-Boise game would play Colorado. Whoever wins the Tennessee-Penn State game would play Miami. Whoever wins the Notre Dame-UGA game would play Texas. And whoever wins the Indiana-Bama game would play Oregon.
I'm going to give you a little bit of rules here. I looked up the rules, too, for this, to how it kind of works. The 12 teams participating will be the 5 conference champions ranked the highest by the CFB selection committee, plus the next 7 highest ranked teams. The ranking teams will continue to be done by a selection committee. The 4 highest ranked conference champions will be seeded 1 through 4 and receive a first round bye. The 5th conference champion will be seeded where it is ranked or at number 12, which would be like Colorado or somebody like that if they don't get high enough. If outside the top 12 in rankings, a non-conference champion ranked in the top 4 will be seated at number 5. Because of this, the seeding 1 through 12 could look different than the final rankings. The 8 teams seeded 5 through 12 will play a first round, which we've kind of got that on lock. The selection committee will assign 4 of the highest ranked conference champions to a playoff quarterfinal hosted by bowls. With the 4 highest ranked conference champions assigned to bowls, their 4 playoff quarterfinal opponents will be dictated by the bracket. The college football playoff bracket will follow selection committee's rankings with no modifications made to avoid rematches between teams that have played during the regular season or from the same conference. The bracket will remain in effect throughout the entire playoff, and the highest seed will receive the high seeded will receive placement for the playoff semifinal assignment. All 11 teams under the CFB umbrella will be administrative policy. That sounds stupid. That's it gets really technical. And your bowl, your playoff bowls are the Fiesta Bowl, the Peach Bowl, the Rose Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, and the Orange Bowl, and the Cotton Bowl. And the playoffs start with game 1 on Friday, December 19th, with 1 game, 3 games on Saturday, December 20th, and then your playoff quarterfinals start December 31st, January 1st, January 1st, and January 1st. And then the playoff semifinals are the 8th, and then your national championship will be January 19th.
So don't make plans.
Yeah, don't make plans
for January. We got some lives. We got a lot of lives coming.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to it. There's a good YouTube video out there where they kind of talk about how the weird stuff could happen. But he's talking about Texas. They got Kentucky this upcoming weekend.
Yeah,
in Texas, and then they go to at A&M on Saturday, November 30th.
Finish out the season. In-state rival game.
Yes, and if Texas gets beat by A&M, that could take Texas out of there.
Texas lost, right?
They've got one
loss. They lost to Georgia.
They lost to Georgia. Texas A&M has 1 loss.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So if Texas loses to A&M,
I think that's where it could be the 6-team tied. If Tennessee wins out, if Georgia wins out, Alabama wins out. Who's the other one? There's another one too. It could be a 6-team tie for 6-2 in the SEC. For first.
You got 5-1 and 5-1 in conferences. Texas A&M, and then Georgia at 6-2, and then they've got Tennessee ranked 4th at 5-2 in conference, and then Alabama's 4-2 in conference.
But they're projecting all those could win out, and then if Texas loses Texas A&M, you'd have a tie. Yeah, could be interesting.
I'm trying to figure out how the tiebreaker would go, because Georgia would get the strength of schedule one. They would get the head-to-head against Texas. They would have the head-to-head against Tennessee. They would not have the head-to-head against Alabama. They wouldn't have the head-to-head against Ole Miss. As Ole Miss and Alabama play each other. Nope. They got Oklahoma and Auburn left. So, Alabama. So, Georgia.
Who's Ole Miss got? Mississippi State? They play them?
Let me look.
Should be the last game.
Yeah, I know that's their last game because that's the Egg Bowl. They got Florida this weekend at Florida, and then they got Mississippi State at home.
That could be interesting.
To me, now I don't know. I could be completely wrong here, but to me, this looks like a Texas loss puts Alabama in the SEC championship. If Texas loses to A&M, nope, they don't play each other. I don't. Yeah, to me that looks like that would put because Alabama would have the tie. No, but they don't have the tiebreaker over you. But we have. I don't know how that's going to work. I have no idea.
It's a mess.
Because if it comes
an absolute mess.
If they do the strength of schedule, Georgia gets it. If that's correct. You know what? We got. Hold on. Because there's a rule out there. They released it this year. SEC tiebreaker rules. All right.
I'm going to go ahead and say this. I do think an SEC team will win a national championship this year.
Hey, ads. Why this is from the Tennessean. Here's a full list of tiebreakers according to the SEC. Head-to-head competition against the tied teams. Okay, all of them's got. You can't do that one because they all got.
If they all finish 6-2.
Yeah. Then the next one goes record versus common conference opponents.
That's gonna be fun.
That all their
all
losses,
over the place.
All their losses come to the same opponents because we beat Tennessee, Alabama. You beat Alabama. Alabama beat us. Ole Miss beat us. I don't know. Then it comes to record against the highest placed common conference opponent in the conference standings and proceeding through the conference standings among the tied teams. So the highest ranked, Georgia would have that one because they beat Texas because Texas is the highest ranked SEC opponent. You all beat Alabama.
They were ranked 7th.
So Texas loses. That will put you all ahead of them because Bama will be ahead of them. Oh, God. Then cumulative conference winning percentage of all conference opponents among the tied teams, a capped relative scoring margin versus all conference opponents among the tied teams. So you'd have to look at point differential between the tied teams that played each other.
That's just too much, man.
And then if all that fails, they do a random draw on the tied teams.
God. Imagine your season comes down to a random draw.
Right now, that's SEC tiebreaker scenario.
Man, you didn't get in her hand. Sorry.
Tennessee.
I can already tell you Tennessee be out.
There's a plethora of teams still fighting for a spot in the SEC championship. Here's the easiest pass to the game for each of the remaining teams. Tennessee beat Georgia and Vanderbilt. Well, didn't do that. A&M beat Auburn and Texas. Texas has to beat Arkansas, Texas, and Texas A&M. Alabama, they have to beat Oklahoma and Auburn. Georgia or Vanderbilt beat Tennessee. Missouri win its last 2 of its 3 remaining SEC games versus South Carolina. And Mississippi State, Missouri has to win 2 of its last 3, either against South Carolina, Mississippi State, or Arkansas. So, Missouri lost to South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee, Texas A&M, and Texas can control their own destinies for a spot in the SEC title game. If Tennessee wins out and Texas A&M and Texas don't lose until facing each other in the regular season finale, the Vols face the winner of that game. That's the easiest scenario.
That's if we beat Georgia.
If you would have beat Georgia, yeah. Alabama also has a relatively straightforward path to the SEC title game, even though it doesn't take control of its own day. The Crimson Tide needs to win out, have Tennessee drop one of its remaining games to Georgia or Vanderbilt, have Missouri win 2 of its last 3, and at that point, Alabama would finish above Ole Miss and Tennessee and Texas A&M on the conference opponent percentage of 500, ahead of LSU due to the head-to-head results. The tiebreaker scenario gets dicey for the remaining teams in contention. Georgia, Ole Miss, Missouri, LSU, as they would need a utter chaos to find themselves in the game. Speaking of chaos, there's a scenario in which the SEC finishes with an 8-way tie for first place in the league. How about that for the first year of a college football 12-team playoff? Some programs are likely to be scratching their head in this case. Here's what needs to happen for Armageddon. Georgia beat Tennessee. The winner between Texas and Texas A&M before their season. The winner of Texas and Texas or Texas A&M lose before they play each other. Alabama, Ole Miss, LSU, and Missouri win out. LSU didn't win out, so you can't have chaos. So pretty much it eliminates Georgia and Ole Miss. In that scenario, Alabama would finish first ahead of Georgia, LSU, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Texas, Texas A&M based off conference percentage at 51.56. LSU would be second behind the Crimson Tide, and that would be your conference championship game.
Wouldn't that be crap?
Right now, Alabama and Texas have the best chance to make the conference championship. Tennessee has a 12.7% chance. That was before they played Georgia, and Georgia had a 7.7.
Probably flipped now.
Yeah, I'd say it's so. It's pretty much looking like it's going to be Texas and Alabama in the SEC title.
Garbage. Oh, well, honestly, though, like I said, I don't think I'd want to play that title game.
Nope.
Honestly. So
well, they talked about that on game days. Like, does the title game want to hurt you?
Well, yeah, I think it does.
Well, the committee says they're going to honor the conference championship games and kind of give them a little like, oh, you made it, then a loss may not hurt you as bad as it would if it would have been in the regular
Honestly,
season.
that's the way I think it should be. I think, like, if you make it there, you're locked.
I think that I agree with that. I agree with that. I think that should be
because you made it to the championship game.
Oh, it's just like it is in high school.
It's an extra game.
You make it in high school, like in basketball. You make it to the Region D championship
if you lose,
game.
You still get to go on. Yeah, first and second.
You have to travel on the road. If you win, you host.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
I agree. That's good. But hey, we spent a little bit too much long on this.
Yeah.
Let's
move down the rabbit hole.
Here's the game, though.
Yeah.
Tennessee versus Georgia, 7:30 last night or Saturday.
Yeah.
We didn't watch it together.
We did not.
But we did talk about it.
We did talk. We did a live during halftime.
We did do a live.
They were tied 17-17 at that time.
Yep.
Great game.
What you take, man?
Balls ran out of gas second half. Outcoached second half. Fall 31-17 to Georgia. Heupel's now 0-4 against Kirby. Not too upset about it, though, because Georgia was 28-0 at home before this. I knew that. Nervous going into it.
Yeah.
They came to play. They came out there, put up 10-0 real quick. They came to play. They came prepared.
Well, I know Bryson
played a good game. That was honestly probably one of the worst defensive games I've seen them play this season. I mean, honestly, we never did pressure Carson Beck, but shout out to Georgia's offensive line for protecting Beck after giving up, I think, 5 or 6 sacks last week. So, like I said in the previous podcast, I think the worst thing that happened for Tennessee was Georgia to lose to Ole Miss. I think if Ole Miss beats Georgia, maybe a little bit closer game. Georgia probably still finds a way to win since it is at home. Say what you want. There was some terrible officiating calls. Just going to leave that out there. I don't think those would change the script. I still think Georgia finds a way to win this game, even if some of those calls were reversed.
The only one that I think Tennessee fans need to shut up about is the
fumble.
The fumble.
Yeah, that was an incomplete pass.
That's an incomplete pass.
I agree with
that. Now, there was a missed face mask. There was a missed PI.
Yeah, a couple missed PI when he was catching that ball and he was already hitting him before he caught the ball. That's understandable. The Carson Beck stumbling, that could have been a call there.
The reason
there was a blatant false start as well on 2nd and 2, I believe it was, with like 2 or 3 minutes left, and you could plainly see it. They missed. I mean, there was a couple things, right? But again, I don't think Georgia loses that game if you have some of those calls reversed. They missed opportunity there after the incomplete pass that was ruled a fumble initially. They did fumble immediately on the second play there. They missed an opportunity there to capitalize and get that ball. It happens. It's just whoever falls on the ball, right? So hats off to Georgia. They came to play. They turned around. Carson Beck played probably his best game of the season. He did. Of course, he's had to do it against my Vols. But here's my thing with that. 5 years ago, this would be a 52-6 game. So I want Vols fans to take a look back and see how far we've came to where this now is the national highlight. You have College game day there. Everyone's expecting a great game, and Tennessee did show up. I mean, definitely through 3 quarters. I think they just ran out of gas in the 4th. You have a freshman quarterback on the road, true freshman, played good enough in my opinion. He did what he could, but Dylan Sampson's an absolute monster. Finished another game with 102 yards, 103 yards, so another 100 rushing yard game for him. Stellar season. It is what it is, man. I'm just happy the Vols came to compete. They're actually in these games now with Georgia, Alabama. You can see it. You can see the rise of Tennessee. We're on the way. I'm going to say it again, next year maybe. Maybe. I can't be too mad, man. People give me a hard time, but honestly, it doesn't even bother me because, I went through 4-8, 3-7, 5-7. I can hang in there. I'll be all right. 8-2. The way I look at it, we're 8-2. Georgia's 8-2. Alabama's 8-2.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Not to change the subject, we do have some breaking news coming across here. Wisconsin has fired their offensive coordinator.
Wisconsin!
Phil Longo has been fired and relieved of his duties effective immediately.
Wow. Imagine getting fired after almost beating number 1 team.
Yeah. But I want to announce something here. talking about this game.
Yeah. What's your take on it?
Well, first
I don't
off,
want to go too much down the rabbit hole of Tennessee, but that's where I'm at. I'm not mad.
First off, there was a big-time recruit there, 5-star quarterback Julian Lewis. He's the number 1 quarterback rated for next year's class. He had decommitted this week at USC. He visited Colorado.
Colorado.
He visited Colorado, and then he visited us this game.
So he's coming to Georgia.
Don't know yet, but also in that side of it, I kind of got some insight on why that happened because USC flipped the number 2 overall quarterback in the next year's class from Texas A&M, Hussein Longstreet, quarterback 5-star. He flipped from Texas A&M to USC and signed today, committed to them today. So that's probably why Julian Lewis is transferring out. But yeah, about the game, Bryson asked me that morning. He's like, "Dad, how you feel about the game?" I said, "Honestly, this is probably the most nervous I've been about a Georgia game probably ever. I just felt like they were going to get beat. I had that feeling Dylan Sampson, everything. Even more nervous than I was there in the Rose Bowl when we played Oklahoma against Baker Mayfield. But overall, the game was amazing. I enjoyed it. I thought Kirby really was so respectful of what Tennessee had, and I think that's one reason why Georgia came to play. I think all week long he preached how disciplined, how fundamentally sound, how well, as he says, which I think is very interesting. This is the only coach that he does this. He calls him Josh. And I think that's because he respects him and there's such a personal bond between those two. Those two talk a lot. I was reading on it. They're really good friends. And he kept saying, Josh is coaching very well. He's coached them. This is not Tennessee. This is not the Tennessee that everybody thinks. This is a top team. And I think that's how they practiced all week for this game. The big thing that caught my eye wasn't so much Carson Beck's play as a quarterback and throwing the football. Or even
tight ends, man.
Wasn't even really – I mean, it was great to see Austin Lucky and
Oscar
Delp catch some passes. That was great. It was great to see Frazier run the football because I was worried about that not having NTN and
Frazier's. I told you this yesterday. I think Frazier's better than ATM.
Frazier's going to be a monster. But my big thing with Beck that I don't think anybody's seen coming was he became Patrick Mahomes as far as moving that pocket and running. Like he hasn't rushed for that many. That was a career high in rushing yards.
He played the best game.
Yeah, I mean, he did
maybe of his career, but yeah,
it was great. I mean, it was good to see Mike Bobo really finally called a good game. Defensively, I thought we did exactly what we had to. I was all worried when y'all went up 10-0. Absolutely, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be bad. So I had to pull out the bottle with Jim Beam and just start sipping on that. And literally,
I wasn't doing anything. That's how come I didn't text you. I said, I know what's gonna happen. I said, Georgia's gonna drive down right here, score. Yep, 14.
Well, I liked it. I liked it. Like that first half, you just didn't really say anything.
It was watching the game.
Yeah,
I did. I know it's early.
I was sitting there. I had a Coke Zero beside me, and then I got up. Y'all went up 10-0. I went over to the liquor and got the bottle of Jim Beam and set it.
They were 5 for 5 on third down. I mean,
yeah, and I mean, but I mean, to me, that was a great game. I think it could have went either way. But hats off to Tennessee. I think you said it. We both said it. For how far they came. Hats off to Josh Heupel and what he's doing there.
Turn the program around.
I'm glad Georgia won because I doubt we beat you in basketball. I don't know. Basketball going to be interesting this year, but I definitely don't think we beat you in baseball.
We're pretty good at both those.
It's going to be interesting, but I think I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think this is going to turn into the premier rivalry in college sports across the board over the next 10 years. Because, I mean, both programs, football programs are at the top of their game, both baseball programs. You all have been there. You're national champs in baseball. Georgia's on their way. They're ranked in the top 10 preseason right now. In basketball, we have one of the best recruiting classes they've had. I think it's going to be competitive, these two teams, when they play each other in any sport. Even if it's rowing, it's going to be competitive, and it's good to see, especially for me and you and our friendship. We get to jab at each other.
Absolutely.
But I agree with you. Last thing I'm going to say, I don't think it would have even though it would probably be impossible, if Georgia lost and became a 3-loss team, I don't see how you keep them out of the playoff.
No, not from what I saw on the field.
Just eye test and saying who's my 12 best teams.
Like I said, that was a good football.
It was. The only thing that killed me with Tennessee, and I've been a big fan of him. I mean, going all the way back to our college football preview, love Dylan Sampson. Not taking nothing away from him here. I think Heupel needs to run him a little bit more at times. Sometimes I feel like he pulls him at the wrong time, but that's not what I was going at. It's James Pierce.
Man, yeah. He had a rough game.
Yeah, he's had a rough game, but I think I'm blaming Tim Banks and the defensive coaching staff because he's playing defensive end. He's playing that hybrid end. You got to be out there to get that cadence down. You got to memorize that thing, get in a rhythm, because he's one of those guys who times that snap. That's what makes him. He's like J.J. Watt. He's like a Jadeveon Clowney. He's one of those type of people. You pull him. Like there's some series he's not out there. Then he's only out there for first down, and then he's out till the next set of downs. I think it's messing up his timing, and that's why you were seeing those jumps. He was getting a couple
3
false starts
in the first half.
And I think play him. The kid's in shape. Play unless there's something that we don't know.
Yeah, he did go out. I don't know. I haven't heard a status report. I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, it looked like it was abdominal.
He might be all right.
Yeah,
because it's not really like a headliner. So
right.
Nico took a pretty hard shot there at the end too. Yeah. I mean, they ruled that a fumble. It was a fumble, whatever. But Tennessee played a clean game as far as turnovers. I was really happy with that.
Only thing is, what's his face? Your lineman that I can't stand. Hurd.
Oh, Lance Hurd. Yeah. Yeah. That was a trade. That was a trade from LSU, I think, right? He was on LSU.
I'm not sure. Alabama, maybe?
He was a transfer. No, I think it's LSU. LSU or Texas A&M. Check that for me. I think it's LSU. I think we're paying him, too. I think we gave him money. That was a bad game from him, though. That false start killed that one drive. They were 3rd and 2, and it dropped. Yeah, 3rd and 2, and it jumped it back 3rd.
His actual name is Silence. Silence.
Hey, my boy McCoy had a good game. I told y'all he'd have a good game.
Oh, one more thing. Let's move on after this.
Ricky Gibson had a great game.
If you don't know the name, you get to know the name. Boo Carter.
Oh, Boo Carter, yeah. Oh, he's gonna be nasty.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all, Tennessee fans, he's better than Eric Berry will ever have been.
He's good.
He's gonna be better than Eric Berry.
He's a freshman.
He's gonna be better than Eric Berry.
He had an interception against Mississippi State, and I think he either had a touchdown from a punt or.
I ain't worried about the intercept. His play recognition, his attack to the football, how fast he can get from one side to the next, attacking the football. His play recognition is on point. He's playing like a senior out there as a freshman, and he's fast.
He's good. Future looks bright for Tennessee.
But had another big game.
Yeah.
Early. Colorado
destroys Utah. I put Colorado on upset alert on it, missed it. 49-24.
Hey, Utah's defense was ranked in the top 10 in the country.
They were.
It's the toughest defense Colorado's played all year. But
this tells me Colorado's humming.
There's nobody talking about Colorado's defense, though. I don't think they've given up more than I think this is the most they've given up in 6 weeks.
24 points.
Yeah. They've been playing really good lately. So Colorado could be dangerous. I mean, they're clicking. They're
projecting Hunter to win Heisman.
Well, he should, absolutely. He had an interception and a touchdown in this one. I mean, he was the first player in college football history to have 20 receiving yards and a rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
And an interception in a game. I mean, he's doing things that we've never seen. I will say, I'm going to pump the brakes a little bit on Shanoir Sanders. I think he's in a good system. I think his dad's built a good system around him. I seen some things early in that game because I did turn it off pretty early because they were blowing him out. He throws some prayers up there, kind of like somebody's going to be there, and he doesn't have much play recognition. Like if you rush around the ends, he don't pick up an end at all. He gets killed if they rush from the outside. He's not have no pocket awareness, in my opinion. Could have been maybe he was just off yesterday or Saturday. Maybe he was just a little off. I don't know, but there were some rough spots in his game.
He's also playing a good defense. I mean, I know they let up 49 points, but Utah's a sound defense.
Yeah. I mean, he still did good. I still think he threw for 305 touchdowns. So,
yeah.
I ain't going to say too much. But, I mean, that was the one time that I've actually watched it because I really wanted to watch him and kind of say, okay, is this dude for real? Or we all just kind of got our Colorado blenderware.
I definitely think he's a top 5 in the quarterback. I mean,
It was interesting to see I was kind of really just being really technical. So, it is what it is.
It's what you got to do, man.
I did watch a lot of this game, this Clemson-Pittsburgh game.
Yeah.
Very good game. Pittsburgh wanted it. They were in it, and they just couldn't pull it off.
Yeah, 24-20. I think Clemson's overrated still, in my opinion.
Well, when they played a good team, they got the break speed off them this year. So
yeah, I mean, Klubnik's streaky.
Yep.
He's been kind of up and down all season. One game
Clemson
he threw 400 yards. One
and
game
Dabo Swinney have always played terrible when they play a good defense.
Yeah, I agree. Which Tech should have beat them. But yeah, 24-20. I still think they're kind of overrated. Yeah, ACC's kind of up in the air. I still think SMU might be your best team in the ACC.
I agree. You can do this next one. You're going to have to.
Why, man?
Because
Florida?
No. Oh, yeah. No, I'll do Florida.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
yeah.
skipped looking at another one.
Yeah, you're looking at the one down below it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Florida. I watched this game, dude, and hey, Florida is playing some.
They're turning around.
They're playing some really.
We
really
hated on
good.
Napier earlier in the season, but he's getting that program in the right direction.
What's crazy is he's doing it with freshmen.
DJ
Lagway, the running back, true freshman. Yeah. They got 2 DBs that are true freshmen. They got a defensive end and a defensive tackle that are true freshmen.
If I'm Ole Miss this weekend, I'm nervous.
I would be very nervous. This team, Florida's coming to play, and they're turning the corner. If I'm a Florida fan,
Florida's what, 5-4 now? 5-5?
5-5.
5-5. I think
Maybe.
5-5.
Something like that. I might have it right here. I might have a quick pull up here. But yeah, Lagway, man, he played great. Their running backs, though, were...
Lagway had, 2 touchdowns, 200 yards, something like that, but solid, no turnovers. Yeah. Yeah, 27-16. LSU's been on the down, though. I do think Brian Kelly is on the hot seat. They're what now, 6-4?
Florida is 5-5, and yes, LSU is now 6. Well, they win that game. They're in the driver's seat for the SEC title game. And again, Brian Kelly can't win a game when it's important.
Yeah, you gotta win Florida.
Yeah, and I mean Florida dominated them. I mean they killed
27-16.
They killed Nussmeier. He took an absolute beating. Like it was the fourth quarter. He got hit because I was watching those games, but that was part of my $300.
Ah, yeah.
And I needed Florida to win by 8 points or more.
Well, they did.
And I was watching it, dude, and they hit him one time. He got up and he fell back down, put his head down, then he got up and he was taking a beating. So that was
that game at Florida?
It was.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean,
Swamp's a hard place to play.
It was.
That's what I'm saying. Ole Miss travels there this weekend. Good luck.
If Lagway keeps playing the way he's doing, that running game keeps going, Florida may win out.
That could be a good game.
Yeah.
That could be a really good game. That'll save Napier.
Yeah.
Next one on the docket here, South Carolina beats Missouri to continue the Missouri decline.
And what a wild game this was.
Yeah, 34-30. They ain't standing on business no more. How about that, Drinkowitz? Sellers had 5 touchdowns.
What got me on this one was with a minute and 12 seconds left, Missouri was up 30-27.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here like, daggone it. I'm not going to win, because I had that bet, that $5 bet, and they were part of it. I just needed South Carolina to win. And then they ran the ball down their throat, scored that final touchdown, and locked that in. That game was wild, but Sellers really played really well.
South Carolina is coming, guys. I'm telling you. They're going to be tough next couple of years, especially with Sellers at the helm.
Sellers at the helm.
5 touchdowns and 353 yards passing.
Beamer's that guy who can get probably any kid in the country to commit to him and believe in him.
Yeah.
And
he can recruit QBs, man.
He's also got that old school mentality in him like his dad did to where, hey, you're going to play the brand of football I want you to play. And if not, then go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be really big.
Kind of like Brian Kelly. You're uncoachable. Did you see that?
I did. I've never been a fan of Brian Kelly.
Golly, man, he was chewing that guy.
I would rather have Jeremy Pruitt.
Who do you think you are?
I'd rather have Jeremy Pruitt, Urban Meyer.
Oh, God. Don't ever say Jeremy Pruitt.
I'd rather have Jeremy Pruitt, Urban Meyer, and Butch Jones as my coaching staff than have one Brian Kelly. You know what? Even give me Justin Fuente. Bring him in.
You talk to Tennessee Hokie fans, I disagree.
And give me a young Lane Kiffin, and I will take that coaching staff over Brian Kelly anytime because you know what? I'm going to win a couple good football games. I ain't going to lose and call my players uncoachable. Brian Kelly is not a good coach. He can recruit. He knows how to use the money, but he can't do it.
He'll stay there again.
This next one.
Yeah. How about this?
Well, it was a blowout for a minute. It was 24-0 for a long time.
It was. Arizona State,
Kansas State. Kansas State, they had every opportunity in the world to win the Big 12.
Just run the table. Run the table.
This was their year. We talked about it. No Texas, no Oklahoma, Kansas State. It's your conference, and all you have done is just crap the bed.
Yep. Yeah. Blew it all, man. What's up with their long-haired boy? How'd he play?
Oh, Avery Johnson? I'll look it up.
Avery Johnson, yeah. How'd he play?
Yes.
Just a long-haired country boy.
I can't believe it's by Kansas State, man. I just can't believe how bad they have played.
Lost to the Sun Devils by 10.
Yeah, and what was weird, though, is Nick Saban and Pat McAfee were both like, hey, watch out for Arizona State. And everybody was like, nah, man. Kansas State going to win this big.
Well, yeah, I should.
Let's see, where's that game at? There it is.
That knocked Kansas State out of rankings, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Up there's, 7-3 now?
Yeah, they're done.
Yeah, 7-3, 4-3 in conference play. Arizona State's 8-2. And now they're 5-2 in the Big 12. So Arizona State very well.
They're ranked now, 21st.
Yeah, now Arizona State could be competing for that Big 12 championship game. But
that's insane.
Avery Johnson, he went 24 for 40 for 258 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Gideons ran the ball for 14 carries, 133 yards for Kansas State. The big thing here was Shane Levitt.
Jadeon, I think that's one guy's name.
Yeah, Dejion Krebs.
Yeah.
That's wide receiver. But Shane Levitt for Arizona State, he was 21 for 34 for 275 and 3 tutties. And then I cannot say this other dude's name. The running back.
I cannot believe Arizona State 8-2.
8-2. I'm going to look at that conference.
Wow.
There. Yeah. Talk about something a team nobody's been talking about.
That's the team that hired Herb, right? A couple years back?
Yeah, and they fired him.
Yeah.
They got BYU this weekend at home.
Oh, God. Okay.
At 3:30, and if they win that game, that puts them in the – right now, your Big 12 Conference Championship game will be BYU, Colorado. Both of them have one loss in conference play. If Arizona State wins against BYU, they would have the tiebreaker over BYU, and it would be Arizona State versus Colorado.
Wow.
The 2 former big Pac-12 schools that joined the Big 12 will be in your conference championship.
That's insane.
So, wow, Arizona State.
Yeah.
Dude, the Sun Devils, I haven't seen the Sun Devils ranked
long time.
It's been forever. I gotta
look it up. While he's looking that up, guys, I want to talk about this other one here. Boise dominates San Jose, like we just mentioned earlier. They ended up winning 42-21. This game was close for most of the game, and then they just pulled away with Ginty. Ginty had 159 rush yards and 3 tutties.
The last time they were ranked was Week 7 of 2021.
Oh, that must have been when they had Herb.
Nope, that was when they had
before Herb.
Kenny Dillingham was their.
When was Herb there? 2022 or before
2022 that? On. I'm trying to think.
Time flies, man.
I mean, I remember they beat Georgia when they had no Sean Moreno. Here we go. Here's some poll history for Arizona. You keep doing what you're doing. I'm gonna look this up real fast.
Yeah, Oregon escapes the upset over Wisconsin. Hess and I picked this one as a potential upset. 16-13 over Wisconsin. Wisconsin. God bless. It's early, guys. Wisconsin had the ball, was driving down, and threw an interception. Bounced off the guy's hand, landed right in his hands for Oregon. They was able to escape. Was really hoping to see an upset. I wanted Wisconsin to win this game. It had been a huge win for that program. They definitely would have stormed the field. I can't talk. Would have stormed the field. Can't talk, dude.
This is back to Arizona State. The highest they've been ranked over the last couple of years is 17th. They were ranked in 2014. They were ranked 7th. But the teams I was thinking about was back in 2007. They started out the season unranked, and then they made it all the way up to 7th. That's their highest ranking they had ever had since they had Jake Plummer back in 94 when they got ranked.
Plummer.
96, Jake Plummer, they were ranked number 2, and then finished out the season number 4.
Wow.
So, but yeah,
that's crazy.
I got to figure out who this team was.
BYU versus Kansas. As we mentioned, BYU goes down to Kansas 17-13. Kansas, if y'all remember last year, Kansas was 6-0 starting out the season. They had college game day there for the first time. It was a pretty cool environment. Kansas definitely turning the script around. They've looked good the past few weeks. So like to see that out of the Jayhawks. It's not just a basketball team now. Might actually be a football team.
Maybe. We said that last year, and then they just decided
they fell apart.
Crap the bed on us. So Arizona State has really never had any major players. Even on the team that was like, I'm thinking about back in 2007 when they had Dennis Eckerson as the head coach, Hall of Fame football coach. Rudy Carpenter was their quarterback. And Dimitri.
It looks like a really, really nice school.
Yeah, so at one point it was the number 1 party school in the country.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a nice school.
Arizona State, notable. Can you name an Arizona State football player?
No. No idea. Oh, we're special. Seth Stanley got back with us.
Terrell Suggs.
Oh, he played there?
Pat Tillman. Rest in peace.
Emory and Henry will not be in a playoff due to the conference switch up.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, Mikael Harry is the most previous one, but Jake Plummer, Danny White, Todd Heap, great tight end. John Jefferson, Pat Tillman, and Terrell Suggs are your notable.
I didn't know Terrell Suggs went there.
Yep.
Absolute stud.
God, it's crazy. Anyway, Arizona State. Watch out for them. You talked about Boise, close one, but
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see what Boise can do. Oregon. I mean, you called this one.
Talked about that.
You talked about that one. Wisconsin, BYU, Kansas.
Talked about that.
Talked about that. BYU disappointment. I love seeing BYU do good.
Yeah, I do too. It's like the random team.
It is, and they're always that random. It's like them and Boise State are always that random team.
They're like that too in basketball. BYU 1 year, they'll just be randomly good.
Talk about him. He's our man.
McDermott?
Nope, that was Creighton.
That was Creighton.
Jimmer.
Oh, Jimmer Fredette.
Yeah, boy.
Old Jimmer. Why'd I say the other guy?
Hey, Doug McDermott was
a heck of a three-point shooter too.
His dad's still the head coach at Creighton.
Jimmer Fredette. God, he was good.
He's in Japan dropping 40.
Yeah, old Jimmer, baby.
But Doug McDermott's dad's still at Creighton.
McDermott playing the NBA. He was there for a little while.
McDermott's on the Bulls.
Bulls, okay. I don't keep up with the NBA.
Was on the Bulls. I don't know if he still is.
I know he's bouncing around.
But I know his dad's still coaching at Creighton. MLB.
Only thing here I wanted to mention, I know I just put a question mark next to this section.
You want to talk about Soto?
Soto's probably going to the Mets.
He liked Boston.
He met with the Mets. Hayward said he's probably going to go to the Mets. They offered him apparently $676 million.
He liked what Boston presented, though.
Man, if he goes to Boston, I'll be
he's that guy.
Billy Bowen, I'm calling you out if he goes to Boston.
Trying to look here, see if I got anything. Ex-Reds manager, Bale, the one that's coaching this year, he has now joined the Blue Jays front office. Sale and Crochet named comeback players of the year. Chris Sale and Dylan Crochet. Go Balls on Crochet there. The Rays will play their 2025 season in the Yankee Spring Training Stadium.
Yep.
The Giants hire Randy Wynn as VP of Player Development. As far as free agency goes, it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's live. I mean, things can be – anybody can sign right now. I seen the Mets thing, but I just feel like Soto's going to be a Red Sox. But he's still got to meet with the Dodgers.
That's kind of a dumb move, in my opinion, for Boston. Because you had Mookie Betts and who'd they have last year before last? They traded to one of their big players.
Chris Sale?
No, not Chris Sale. It was another hitter like Mookie Betts. So you literally just passed up on
Xavier Bogaerts.
Bogaerts, thank you. You just passed up on those two guys. I know you're going to sign Soto to $600 million. I just think that's a dumb move. But
some big things that did happen, some little signings, little bitty things. But these are the kind of signings that nobody talks about. But then come postseason time, people are talking about it. The Angels signed Travis d'Arnaud to a 2-year deal. He rejoins Ron Washington, former Braves third base coach, and they also signed the Braves hitting coach. So Ron Washington's literally getting everybody that the Braves don't want and taking and bringing the 2021 World Series team. They got Soler.
They got Soler, yeah.
They got a couple of our pitchers.
He said, I'm going to be Braves out here on the West Coast.
The Cleveland Guardians released some new jerseys. They're really nice, really crisp, really clean. Nice new hat. Lettering's a little different, real nice. Kyle Hendricks agrees to join the Angels at a 1-year, $2.5 million deal. Austin Hedges joins the Guardians, on a 1-year deal. The Royals are in on Jonathan India. They're trying to bring him in to pair him up with Bobby. Yeah, he's a free agent. So India, they're trying to bring him in to pair him with Bobby Witt. That would make that really interesting.
India play second, right?
Yeah, so you'd have Bobby Witt at short and India at second.
Yeah, that'd be nasty.
So they're trying to do that. But yeah, MLB, I mean, anything can happen.
Torres getting traded. I'm gonna say that right now.
I seen
he unfollowed the Yankees on Instagram. He's gonna get traded.
Well, he did that, and I don't think they met the deadline on his thing. So,
which he needs to be traded.
The fights. We had some fights this past weekend.
It did, man.
Friday night.
I'm gonna let you talk about this.
Friday night, I watched the Netflix fight, and the first two were great. The women's fight was probably one of the greatest fights I've ever seen with Katie Taylor and Amanda Soren. Soren should have won that fight. She should have won that fight. I don't know. She landed 130 more punches. She was 40% more accurate, and They deducted a point from Katie Taylor for headbutting.
Was it a unanimous decision? So that was the final? Or?
Well, yeah, but then Katie Taylor has this thing where when she goes in for a punch, she subtly lays her head in and she'll hit you right here.
I saw the one girl's, probably the other.
That was the girl who lost. That should have won.
Yeah, it was split open.
She's fought 50 fights in her career, and she's fought Katie Taylor twice, and that's the only 2 times she's ever had a cut on her face. Well, anyway, the ref deducted a point from Katie Taylor.
For a cut?
Yeah, for the headbutt. Because she warned her 3 times it's illegal. She ended up doing it again because she kept hitting that thing. She kept trying to lean in on it. I mean, busted that thing wide open. You can see her skull, part of the bone right here. And anyway, they deducted a point in the 4th round, and Katie Taylor won 95-94 judge's decision.
Yeah.
No idea how that happened. Everybody booed. Amanda Soren absolutely kicked her hind end. I mean, landed everything, busted her up. I mean, I don't know. The Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight, Tyson came out in that first round and was, laying some hits. He took some hard hits from Jake Paul. He took some, and I think Jake realized, okay, I just hit this dude hard as I've hit some other people, and Tyson just kept standing. But as Andre Ware was sitting there, he was talking about Tyson's legs were stiff. He couldn't move. He was running out of air. By the time they got to the second round,
Tyson's time, what, 57?
58.
58, okay.
Father Time never loses. And it showed. I feel like I'll give Jake a little credit. I think there was some times he could have probably beat the crap out of the old man. I think he took a little break on him. But at the end, I don't know if you've seen it, with like 10 seconds left, Paul bows to him and then did a whole little thing. If I'm Tyson, if that's old Tyson, he uppercuts the crap out of him right there and knocks him flat out.
Dude, I lost it. I would have lost it.
Tyson came into that fight net worth at $10 million. He left with $20 million in pocket. Yeah. They asked him if he was done fighting. You could barely understand anything he was saying, but he acted like he wanted to fight Logan. Logan said he'd kill him.
It's all for money, baby. I haven't heard a good thing about the fight, which I'm okay with because I picked Jake Paul to win this fight. Age.
As far as the Netflix thing, I mean, let Jake Paul fight somebody in his.
Sure.
Let's
get it let's get an actual fight.
Yeah, let's do an actual fight.
Somebody fight Jake Paul.
Jake Paul wanted the ring bigger than regulation, so because he knew he could run around and wear out Tyson, so he wanted it bigger than an actual ring. He wanted heavier gloves instead of 10-ounce gloves. He wanted 14-ounce gloves. Just little things. Yeah. But the other fight, the UFC fight, won the bet.
Nice.
Won the bet for $300 or whatever, and Chris said, "We're buying the fight. Let's do it." So we got the fight.
I thought you placed another bet. I was like, "Oh snap!"
I picked Michael Chandler. I did bet on Chandler, and he ended up losing. But it was a hell of a fight. Like I said here, it was an incredible final round, but it was just a little too late for Chandler. Like guy kept getting him. Oliveira kept getting him in a whole body hold, and was like holding.
Yeah, I saw that at the end, like where he's like smiling.
Chandler picked him up. And then body slammed him on his back, and then picked him up again and body slammed it and beat the absolute tar out of him. But by then, it was just a little too late.
Chandler's a monster, man.
And Oliveira did say that Chandler's probably one of the toughest people he's ever. Oliveira hasn't lost yet. He's number 2 in the rankings. Chandler has challenged Conor McGregor. He told him to come out and said if he wants to see if he can actually fight somebody, if he decides he wants to get off his hind end and fight, come fight him. There's some other people he called out.
I love that. If McGregor does fight again, I'm definitely getting it.
Yeah, but Chandler was great. But the John Bones Jones fight, dude, don't lose. And that body shot he had at the end with that foot, kick. I mean, that ended. I'm pretty sure it was pretty much in the kidney. I don't know much about UFC, so I'm trying to get into it.
He kept hitting that area, and then he laid that kick.
He got it. He knocked him out. It was awesome. The guy hasn't lost yet.
Some people say he's probably going to be one of the best fighters.
I think he already is. I mean, he's a legend. It was really cool. Donald Trump, all of them were there. John Jones did the little dance at the end. That was pretty cool. But the UFC fight was great. What I watched the last 3 fights they had. I could really see myself getting into it. But it's just so late. But I do love watching it.
Super late. What time was that fight? 1 a.m.?
That one started at 12:15-ish.
Okay.
The Tyson fight started at 11:45. The other thing, before we go on, Netflix.
I heard Netflix was terrible.
The crash of servers. It had 120 million people watching. It was the biggest one. The women's fight was the largest women's sporting event ever watched in sports history. It was the most people ever watched a women's sporting event.
So they'll definitely do it again. So it sounds like
they will. And see, they are covering the Christmas NFL games. So it was kind of a test to see how can they handle it. And if mine went out. Mine it froze.
I've heard that from multiple people.
It was either really like choppy, it buffered. But once you realized that Tyson had nothing left, you could tell people were leaving, and it started working better. But I was probably watching it. I had it in 4K, and probably 90% of the Tyson fight was in like 20p.
Yeah, I heard it was like a Nintendo game.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But other than that, we had some NFL news.
Yeah.
Chiefs no longer undefeated. Bills, Josh Allen.
Undefeated. Josh Allen, baby.
Steelers
looking like hero out there.
Steelers sent a message. 8-2 on the season. Beat the Baltimore Ravens with no touchdowns.
No touchdowns.
Kick field goals.
Field goals.
18-16.
18-16.
And for me personally, the Broncos beat the Falcons 38-6. Bo Nix had his first ever 300-yard passing game. Had no interceptions, 4 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown. It's a big day for Bo Nix right now. He's the number 1 quarterback in the NFL this weekend on stats.
Nice.
That puts the Broncos to 6-5 on the season.
Better than a lot of people projected.
The Lions look like the team to beat.
Yeah, Lions look great. 52-6 today over Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Which is Jacksonville, but still.
It is, but
they came all the way back on the Texans. So
love me some Dan Campbell. Can't go against that guy.
I like the Lions. If Steelers are out, I'll cheer for the Lions.
Yeah, if I had an NFC team, that would be the.
I'd pick the Lions.
Yeah. Other than that, college pick'ems. I'm sure Trey Bunn still dominate. I'll check it.
I haven't even looked, man. I didn't even look. I'm done looking.
I'll check it real fast just to see. You never know. Maybe somebody gained down upon him. Check it real fast here. If it overload. Let's see here. College pick'em. I'm still in 10th. Trey Bunn is up almost 11 games.
On Jacob?
Yep. Yep. Me and Jacob and Uncle Rico had 50 points this weekend. Trey Bunn had 60. I missed LSU. I picked LSU. I bet Florida to win, but I picked LSU, and I missed Oregon State and West Virginia and BYU. But yeah, Trey Bunn's getting $50. We'll get to you one way or the other. Other than that, guys, off the record, we about to be off the air.
Off the air.
But yeah, guys, be following us on social medias this week. We're going to be posting a lot of stuff. We're getting excited about our trip to Boone. If you listen to us this long and you haven't already, subscribe, follow, like us on everything. We love you guys. You are the best fan base any podcast in the country has. Love you guys. Cass?
I'm out. Love you.
Love you.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.